a few seconds. Yeah, okay, so the recording has started, Yolanda.
Yeah,
Uh,
nice.
Thanks so much for accepting to do this interview. This is
My
going to
pleasure.
be a sample interview of the second round of IZ Teachers interview on the second half of Jeremy Harmer's book.
Mhm.
As suggested by you yourself as a veteran teacher, the second half of Jeremy Harmer's book focuses more on the practice of teaching and more practical issues. So, in your responses today, and also in the teacher's responses to the questions in the second round of the interview, you will be better marked or evaluated if you focus on the practical issues and eventually relate it to our practice of teaching English at IZ. That would be
Mm.
the ideal. There are a lot
Yeah.
of similarities to the first round of interviews. Actually, I'm going to share four questions with you. You can pass only one of them. You can skip one of them, and you are required to answer three questions altogether.
Okay.
And you will have something about 4 minutes for each question, which will
Mm-hmm.
be a total of between 12 to 15 minutes. All right?
Fine.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
wonderful.
Very
So,
fine.
are you ready now?
Yeah, I am.
So, Yolanda, can you see the first question?
Yes, of course. Would you please read it for me? Thank you, if it is
What
possible.
features, what
Uh-huh.
features do teachers consider when they are planning for a lesson?
Okay, yeah.
Are you gonna take this question or would you like me to pass?
If you let me, I'm going to just take it.
Okay, sure. You have something about a minute to organize your minds,
Mhm.
to take notes on a
Yes,
piece of paper if you wish, and then you will start talking.
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, may I start?
Yeah, please
This
get started.
idea.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, as a matter of fact, when teachers actually want to start um, making plan for their actually subjects and the things that they're gonna just teach in the class, they should just pay attention to some items which are really important. Based on the things that are mentioned in the book, the items are referring to the people that the teachers are going to teach. I mean, who they are teaching or where they are teaching. Also, what materials and technology are needed and they have actually to use for teaching. Also, what I mean, teachers themselves think and believe about their teaching and learning process. So, according to each of these items, we should just pay very in detail attention on the top on the parts and while we are planning for the lessons and whatever. The context is very important. I mean, who we are teaching to. If we are just trying to teach as ESL or EFL, this is really important. What context are we just working with the student? Are they just learning this language for just their as their second language, or are they working as their foreign language? So this is really matter. This is really important. Also, who the students are and what their age. This is really important as well. Are we just working with teenagers, with youngers, or with adults? This is important in case of making plans for their lessons. Do they need this language for their job? Do they need it for their traveling, for migration, or what? So this is the matter. The need of the students is another important matter that we should just focus on. Also, the material and technology, especially nowadays, as you know, the classes are turning into kind of online features. So I mean, the internet, the devices that they use, their laptops, I don't know, their smartphones or whatever. We should pay attention on these cases, what kind of materials are available and we can use on. So it is playing a kind of, I think, very important role on the way of our teaching. So we should pay attention on this matter as well. Also, the course books. Actually, we as teachers don't play much important role on the course books actually, because the course book most of the time are chosen by academic coordinators or I don't know, for school authorities. So this is another part that teachers don't pay very important role, don't play, sorry, a very important role on that, but it can be a kind of matter. Also, the teachers' beliefs and their just approaches and the kind of methods that they want to use in case of teaching the subjects and the parts to the student. All of these cases make a kind of complete, a show in case of making and planning a lesson, a good, useful, practical lesson for teachers in case of helping the students to learn a language, a part of a language actually.
I see. Yolanda, do you think majority of IZ teachers are good at planning lessons?
According to kind of different workshops that we have had before, up to now, I think many of them, I think most of us, most of the teachers at IZ have a wide overview about planning the lessons and lesson planning. We have our course books, the kind of things
Yeah.
that we need to use are completely available. Also, the way of online teachings are completely taught and the teachers are
Yeah.
completely known about things and details on that. Also, according to the help of the leaders and veterans that we do have here in this school, so they can get a help. And I think, yes, they have the kind of good overview about what they want to do
Okay.
at IT
Perfect.
for teaching.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Yolanda. Yolanda, can you see the second question now?
Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I can. Yeah.
So,
What
what
are
are different ways to explain things while teaching?
teaching? To
Are
explain
you
things. Like,
going to
yeah.
take this question or do you want me
Yes.
to skip it?
No, no, no. I can take it. I can take this
Okay,
question.
okay. You have 1 minute to get ready.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. May I get
Yeah,
started?
please get started. Yes.
Yes, thank you. So during explanation, actually, teacher pay attention to two options. They should pay attention to two options: the meanings and also to the language construction. Actually, while we are trying to just help students to learn the meaning of the words and sentences, we can use different kinds of techniques. That one of them is to show, which is the easiest and I think the most useful one. For example, I can show the book and say that this is a book, or I don't know, a pen, to show. While we are just showing the part, the thing, and say the name of those words, the students will easily learn them. The other is to mime. For example, imagine I want to say someone is eating something, the action of eating. I can just easily mime that action, and then the students will learn that this is the way of eat, this is eating, and just learn that. Also, body languages and body gestures can be very helpful. For example, I'm angry, but frowning on my eyebrows, very happy, showing kind of happy face. Body language and body gestures is very helpful, I think, in this matter. Facial expressions, the way of our looking, showing our anger or everything you're referring to that. Use pictures. It is very useful while we are using pictures and also just helping the student to see something and guess the meaning or what. Also using the diagrams, especially while we are just teaching the tenses, some kind of grammatical sections, we can use some diagrams using timelines, showing the past, the moments, or the futures or whatever referring to that. And also we have another choice, which is describing the meanings. Actually, in our institute, um, describing the meaning in our first language, in our mother tongue, is our last choice, actually. Most of the time, we don't use it because it is not that much recommended. So the last choice will be somehow describing the meaning in our first. On the other hand, for just explaining the constructions of the language while we are just teaching the parts that refers to the constructions of the language, we do have different kind of ways. Um, Fingers can be very helpful while we are, for example, imagine that the sentence which is mentioned in the book is he is fixing his car. When we are just teaching contracted forms or uncontracted form, right? He is fixing his car. He is fixing his car. By joining two fingers, we can show that his or he is. Repetition, and also using the boards, making diagrams, as I mentioned, timelines, explaining the sentences, writing examples on the board, and also getting the help of the students. All can be the things that can be very helpful in case of explaining the things. Also, for example, while we are just teaching pronunciations or intonations, we can use our hands to show the pitch, the stresses, making subtles and items to show the syllables of the words and the sentences and the stress parts. All can be the things that can be very helpful in case of explaining the meanings and also the language construction. I think all of these methods and techniques are used by our teachers here at IZ, and they are completely just aware of the use of these cases. When we just get the feedback of the students, most of them just confess that teachers are describing the things very clearly and very good. In online classes, by just showing and spreading some videos and pictures in classes, also making some videos by themselves and just sending them and sharing them to the students can be very helpful. And students are using them in a good way, actually, to understand the parts.
Great. Thank you so much, Yolanda. This brings us to your third question, which you can skip or you can take.
Talk about keeping vocabulary notebooks.
Keeping
I can
vocabulary notebooks, what it does is, okay.
And also the use of
Yeah, your
what
1 minute starts now. Yeah, take your time to organize your mind or take notes and then talk.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, so I'm ready to start.
Yes, please go. Yeah.
About keeping vocabulary notebooks, actually, this is a part that is highly recommended in this book about keeping the vocabulary notebooks, or even flashcards and some cards. And this is because most of the time students need to just keep the vocabularies in their mind in case of using them for their just producing the language and also talking. So for that, one of the most important things that is suggested is using the vocabulary notebook. For that, the students need to write the vocabulary, and also the things that can be just written in the notebook are just like the meaning of the word, the part of the speech of the word, the example, making some sentences. But there are some features referring to each, especially about the part of a speech. I mean, if the word is a verb, a noun, adjective, or what. In our institute, just mentioned and just writing about the part of the speech of the word is not that important, especially for young learners, or for the ones who are just starting the learning the language from the beginning. So it is not necessary for the young learners to just practice and memorize the part of the speeches, but knowing the meaning of the words, also getting the help of the dictionaries to make sentences and examples, or the teacher to make examples about the words, and writing them in their notebook can be very beneficial. Also, using cards, they can write the words on the side of the card, and at the back of the card, they can just write the meaning of the word, and for example, above right corner, and then the explanation, the examples on the left corner, and just using these flashcards in case of reviewing the vocabularies and learning them. On the other hand, the kind of words that should be written in their notebooks or in their cards can be just chosen by the student or by the teacher. I mean, the teachers can help the students to choose the useful word, the practical ones, the things that they need, and they can just use them in their just future production. Also, they can just choose the words that they themselves need, feel the need of them. For example, they feel that these words are important and they need them, they want to learn them, so they can choose. So it is free. I think it is okay to use both. I mean, complete their notebooks with the help of the teacher or by themselves. So in both cases, they can have a collection of very fruitful vocabularies in case of reviewing them in their minds and just check them for the time that they need. In our institute, I mean, at IZ, we do have vocabulary notebooks, and teachers help the students to just check the words in their notebooks.
Yeah.
And once in a while, even I think every week, once in a week, the words are checked by the teachers and also by the students to see if there is a problem or not. And I think that can be somehow useful.
Excellent, excellent. Yolanda, this brings us to the end of the interview. Because
Thank
you
you.
already took the first three questions, we don't need to even go to the fourth question.
Mhm.
This is a perfect sample for all the teachers who are preparing themselves for the second round of the interview. Thank you so much for all your efforts. And no wonder you are a veteran trainer with all this knowledge, with the knowledge of the book, and also the knowledge of relating all these practices to our practice at IZ, and with your English proficiency. You are really great. Thank you so much for everything, Yolanda.
Let me
Take care of
you
yourself.
for
Yeah.
the opportunities that just provide for us at IZ. This is really great. This one,
Happy
this
to
is
hear
a
that.
amazing book that was really
Yeah.
helpful. Thank you for producing it for us. And,
I think we
yeah,
should thank Jeremy Harmer for
yeah,
that.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Take care of
Exactly.
yourself, Yolanda.
You too. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.